So I saw this movie, Poor Things, the same night I saw The Color Purple. We saw The Color Purple first, and I saw it with Fantastic Frankie, and she and I didn't want to go home. We were like, I'm still wired. You want to go see another movie? And so we went to go see Poor Things, and now I'm like, tell me why, because Poor Things is a majority white cast, Color Purple is a majority black cast. And I was like, Frankie, why do I like the white movie better than the black movie? Am I racist? I just want to apologize in advance for the audio sometimes in this video because there's certain moments where the microphone like grinds into my neck, so the audio clips at certain points. It's not throughout the whole video, but it's enough that it kind of made me want to re-record the whole thing. But then I was like, I don't feel like re-recording the whole thing. So since it's not the whole video, it's only certain parts, it is what it is, but I apologize in advance. And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another video here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking out my channel, checking out one of my videos, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. And I always say the things I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about fantasy, superheroes, sci-fi, horror, black representation, and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you like this new face that you're coming across on this YouTube channel, if you want to help your boy out and help me get to 9,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, become one of my Safe Gayveneers. I'm slowly growing the channel, slowly making my way to 10,000 subscribers. I just hit over 8,200 subscribers, and you can help me grab more subscribers by hitting that like button on this and every video that you come across, because it helps. And it really helps. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there, getting my channel out there, so more eyes can get to the channel. So with that said, guys, we are here to talk, even though it came out like the beginning of last month, December 8th. So what's today? Today is the 12th. So basically a little over a month ago, a month and 4 days ago. So we're here to talk about Poor Things. It's still going to be non-spoiler because it is an indie movie, and I do feel like a lot of people haven't seen it because I don't really see a lot of discourse about this movie. But I'm going to go out and say right away, this is probably definitely in my top 5 favorite movies of 2023. And so let's talk about Poor Things, starring Emma Stone. Brought back to life by an unorthodox scientist, a young woman runs off with a lawyer in a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her time, she grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. And this movie is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Never heard of him before, but after this movie, I'm definitely a fan. And the movie stars Emma Stone, William Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo. You even see Gerard Carmichael in this movie. And the movie takes place in like Victorian London era, but it's also like a steampunk version of Victoria London. And like I mentioned, this movie is a sci-fi movie. And so the movie takes place with the character of Emma Stone. She unalives herself. She commits suicide. She jumps off a bridge, and she is brought back to life almost in a kind of Frankenstein-like way by William Dafoe, who calls himself God in the movie. And in a certain way, he is God because he brought this woman back to life in an impossible procedure and an impossible situation. And so he basically remade her. So in her mind, he is her God. And of course, it's a play on his character's name because his name is Godwin, but she calls him God. And it's also, you know, him being pretty egotistical in a certain way, but it is what it is. But we're going to get into it. Like, this movie, at first, because I had never seen the trailer for this movie, I knew absolutely nothing about this movie. I didn't even know who was in the movie. Like, when Frankie was like, do you want to go see Poor Things? I was like, sure, I'm down to see whatever. I like movies. So first 15 minutes of this movie, I was just like, what the heck? Like, it was weird. And then the movie was in black and white. It started in black and white. And there was just a lot of weirdness going on. And I was just like, Frankie, what the hell do you have me watching? But by the end of the movie, I was captivated. By the end of the movie, I was enthralled. By the end of the movie, I loved it. Honestly, I wanted a little bit more. And granted, this movie is long. This movie is very long. I mean, I don't want to say very long, but it's basically because after sitting through Color Purple, which is basically 2.5 hours, this movie is also 2.5 hours. So I guess basically sitting through 5 hours of movie in one night, I guess maybe it felt a little bit longer than it actually was, but this movie is still 2.5 hours. And even despite it being 2.5 hours, I was captivated and intrigued the entire way through. And shout out to the director, who I've never heard of, but like the way he crafted this movie and developed this storyline, and the shots that he put and interwove in this movie were very interesting and did a great job in getting you into this narrative, especially the thought process of starting this movie black and white. Like in the beginning of the movie, it's black and white. It looks like an old Twilight Zone, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Munsters, the first couple of seasons of Bewitched-esque type of movie, especially when it's taking place in Victorian lore. And part of that is also because of the fact that this character played by Emma Stone, her name is Bella. She's basically starting from scratch. Even though she was an adult when she unalived herself, when she comes back to life, she doesn't have those same cognitive functions. And I'm not going to get more into like why, anything like that, but like she doesn't have the same adult cognitive functions that she had before she unalived herself. So she's basically relearning life all over again. She's experiencing everything for the first time all over again, but now she's in an adult body. And so you think about the naivete of first experiences. It was very interesting that the movie started in black and white, but the more Bella started to learn, the more Bella started to come into her power, the more Bella started to realize the ways of the world and how she wanted to do things, the more the movie started to develop in color. And he also made a very interesting choice where as the movie started to become in color, the tones were very saturated. It almost looked like the 60s Bewitched, not cartoon, but the 60s Bewitched show where the colors were highly saturated. But as Bella started to develop more and more and more, the colors became more natural, more realistic, the things that we expect or color palette that we expect in movies today. And that was a very smart choice. That was a very interesting choice. And I love that choice for this movie. And honestly, the thing about this movie, and I think part of the reason why I also loved it, this movie was definitely sick in terms of like its tone. Not even so much sick, but it was definitely fucked up in a lot of ways. And that's also why I loved it, because it was also telling a very compelling narrative, because at the end of the day, despite the weirdness of the movie, the fact that you had a duck, because again it's sci-fi, the fact that they had like a pet duck making dog noises, because the character of Godwin is a scientist. He's like Frankenstein a bunch of creatures. Even if you look at like the stills, he looks like a Frankenstein monster in a certain way. And so he's Frankenstein and a lot of creatures together. And when you get past the weirdness of the movie, ultimately the main theme of this movie is, despite how or why you came into this world, who brought you into this world, at the end of the day, it's your life. Nobody can tell you how you're supposed to live your life. Nobody can tell you why you're supposed to live your life, the things you're supposed to say and do and see and not see and everything. Nobody can live your life but you, no matter what. And that's a theme that throughout the weirdness, they really dived into with regards to this movie, and that I loved at the end of the day, because ultimately Bella got to make her own decisions. It was Bella that got to basically do what she wanted to do, despite them, especially during this time of being like Victorian London era. Granted, it's still steampunk, but you still had a lot of men basically trying to tell Bella how she should live her life. Oh, Bella, you shouldn't do this. This isn't something that a woman should do in polite society. Or Bella, you shouldn't say this, or you should. Why are you asking these questions? And then also, like, as Bella started to just become smarter and smarter, it was just like, why am I listening to her? Like, it was just so freaking clever. I'm gonna have to hold the mic because I feel like it keeps going into, like, it keeps riding up into my neck, which is causing the audio to clip, which I noticed when I tried to edit, went back to see how the video was editing. But anyway, even the chemistry between Bella, Emma Stone, and Mark Ruffalo, this is a different type of role for Mark Ruffalo. And I absolutely loved Mark Ruffalo in this movie and in this role and playing this type of character. He plays the character of Duncan Wedderburn, and he's like this suave, playboy-like character, and he introduces Bella to sexual exploits, sexual liberation, experimentation, living life and adventuring outside of the world, because prior to Duncan, she never really got to leave her house. She never really got to explore the greater world. She was kept very sheltered, and it was Duncan that basically ignited the spark to Bella wanting to basically live more of her life outside of William Dafoe. And their chemistry together was just top tier. And I never thought, like, Emma Stone, she was bearing it all in this movie. Like, you saw Bush, you saw the movie was definitely very graphic, and for the story that they were telling, it needed to be, like, you know, it's not like graphic in the sense of like there's blood and gore. No, not that, but like the two of them were clearly, they were fucking. And you're just like, oh my God, that's the Hulk and Gwen Stacy. No. But their chemistry was everything. Their chemistry was everything. The movie really started to, I think, spread its wings and begin to fly when Mark Ruffalo showed up on screen. Not to say the movie wasn't good before that, but it really started to get good when Mark Ruffalo shows up. Now, I will say, despite the movie being, like I said, will be in my top 5 of favorite movies of 2023, there are some criticisms that I have. Not every movie that you love is perfect. Not every movie is perfect, but you had the character Gerard Carmichael who shows up, and honestly, his character gave me like Magical Negro vibes. He was there to educate the white woman. He was there to give more development to the white character, but his particular character, he didn't really have a character. He didn't really have a purpose. I mean, granted, he had a purpose. His purpose was to uplift and educate the white character and make her see reality as it actually is. But like, to me, it gave Magical Negro vibes. Outside of the magic, he wasn't magical, but like, that's basically what his character was. He gave the white character advice, and then he pretty much disappeared from the movie with no real agency or development or anything beyond what he was supposed to do for Bella's development. But yeah, outside of that, I love this movie. I would totally watch this movie again. I'm totally buying this movie on Blu-ray. And if Emma Stone, I haven't checked the Oscars or anything. I'm not really a person that watches Oscar award season. Like, I didn't even watch the Golden Globes. So what? Who cares? I don't know who won, who didn't win, who was even nominated. But even still, she should at least get an Oscar nomination for her role in Poor Things, because she was incredible. This entire movie was incredible. It should definitely be nominated for Best Picture of 2023. And I had a blast. I really enjoyed this movie. But the question is, for all of you guys that have watched Poor Things, did you see Poor Things? Where does this land in terms of your favorite movies of 2023? Maybe it's not even in your favorite movie of 2023, because I really love Saltburn, and there are some people that didn't like Saltburn. So that's just me. I put this up there with, like I said, it's in my top 5 of favorite movies of 2023. Granted, I didn't see every single movie that came out last year, but out of the movies that I did see, it's definitely in my top 5. But Poor Things, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you can, this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. Hit the like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there and my channel out there. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.